What's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's Drip Guy Daryl, and I'm back at you guys with another bang. So in today's video, we will be talking about the New Orleans Pelicans. So as you guys know, the New Orleans Pelicans got swept by the Oklahoma City Thunder. And with them getting swept, that does bring a lot of questions for this New Orleans Pelicans team in regards to what's next for them. So with that being said, that is the topic for this video. And before we do get into this topic, I do appreciate you guys for all the support. As that you guys like the video, comment on the video, and share the video so that it could get to more eyes. And with all that being said, let's switch over and let's get right into it. Alright, so we have switched over, as you guys can see, and y'all see it, man. Y'all see it right at the top. The Thunder 4-0'd the Pelicans. The Pelicans weren't able to even get one game against this OKC Thunder team. And like I was saying, that does bring a lot of questions for this team. So let's switch over and let's take a look at the playoff stats for all of these players. Right here we have the playoff stats. Shout out to Real GM. They come in clutch with these stats. But let's scroll down. Let's take a look at what these players did during the playoffs. All right, so we have the playoff stats right here. Let's start off with CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum overall kind of had a bad series. As you can see, he only shot 41% from the field, and when it comes to his field goal, his 3-point percentage, he shot 24%. Now that's something you don't want to see at all if you are a New Orleans Pelicans fan, man, because as we know, he's one of the players on this team that can create his own shot, and when you got him really struggling like that, you're kind of destined to lose. You do got to keep in mind, over the regular season, CJ McCollum was cooking from three. He was hitting threes at a high and efficient rate, but once the playoffs came, he couldn't knock nothing down. Now let's talk about Jonas Valanciunas. So Jonas Valanciunas, he had a decent series so far. Well, not so far because they're out the playoffs, but he had a decent series. He shot 52% from the field, which is good. When it comes to his free throws, he was at 82%, rebounds 11. So he did what he was expected to do. He literally did what he was expected to do. He crashed the boards pretty well, and he hit his inside shots. Now, one thing to also note that I happen to look past is just the amount of turnovers, man. You got literally like 5 different players that turned over the ball more than 2 times per game, which you hate to see. CJ McCollum at 4. So that's literally crazy. Let's talk about Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram, overall, he kind of had a struggle of a series as well. 34% from the field, which is horrible. And his 3-point percentage was 25%. So overall, he just had a horrible series. I can't sugarcoat anything. It just was bad out there. I'm just keep it real. It was bad out there. Herb Jones, man, shout out to him. He had a struggle of a series too, man. Pretty much everybody on this team struggled during the playoffs. Y'all see it. But Herb Jones, he shot 39% from the field, 33% from 3. And yeah, other than that, I can say that he did try to play decent defense. Same with Trey Murphy. He tried to play decent defense as well, but overall he struggled from the field as well. 37% from the field and 33% from 3. So with that being said, it's a lot of questions, man. It's just a lot of questions in regards to this team on what's next, because you pretty much had your whole starting lineup, very inefficient during the playoffs. So what's next? Let's take a look at their salary so that we can get a better idea of what these players are getting paid and what could possibly happen during the offseason. So they are ninth when it comes to team payroll. So they're top 10 when it comes to how much money they pay. And y'all see the different key options. You got the light blue and player option, red team option. Y'all get it. So let's scroll down. Let's see what this team is locked into, and then we'll move from there. All right, so we start off with CJ McCollum. He is locked in for these next 2 years. And I don't think it's a horrible contract, but at the same time, I do feel like you could possibly upgrade CJ McCollum to a different player, man. Depending on what's out there in the trade market, I do think that you could possibly get an upgrade from CJ McCollum. Zion. With Zion, it's all about can he stay healthy. As we see, he's locked in for a super long-term deal, but it really just comes down to can he stay healthy. When he was healthy, he was playing pretty good, but as we could see, once we got to this playoff series, he got injured and it was no more. Brandon Ingram is definitely going to be a player that his next season will be interesting because, as you guys can see, next season is the final year of his contract. He doesn't have a player option or a team option. So with that being said, that does call the question for the GM on if you should trade him to try to get as much value as possible or not. He got a decent salary, $36,000, and with that type of salary, you could definitely get some decent pieces back. So should you trade Brandon Ingram? That's the real question. I really don't know, because I do think Brandon Ingram is a pretty good player and he's still kind of young at the same time. So it's really a hard question on if you should trade him or hold on to him. Jonas Valanciunas was on his last year this year, so will you re-sign Jonas Valanciunas? Me personally, I think that they should re-sign him. I think he was the only player that actually played decent during the playoffs. So I think you should actually re-sign him, see if he could give you a team-friendly deal. I'd say probably like $10,000 for the next 2 years. If he could do that, I'd keep him. Herb Jones, he locked in. He got a lot of potential. I don't think we really need to speak on him. You just need him to continue to improve on his 3-and-D aspects in his game, and he'll be fine. Larry Nance, I think you could possibly let him go, in my opinion. You got Dyson Daniels. I'd probably have him on the trading block. Trey Murphy, he locked in. You could keep him. And next year it looks like Jose Alvarado, he is on a team option next year, so that's interesting. I think they'll probably keep him just because they need a little more help in that guard position. But yeah, man, what's next for this team? I'll just wrap up my thoughts for this team, man, because it's a lot of questions to be answered. My first thing that I would do if I am the New Orleans Pelicans is you got to get Zion Williamson a better trainer, or, and I'm not saying trainer in regards to, basketball, but just health and fitness. You want this man healthy. You need him to be healthy for the entire year, including the playoffs. So whatever you need to do, whatever fitness trainer that you need to, hire for him so that he can stay healthy, I will do that. So that's number one. Number two, you got to make the decision on if you want to keep or trade Brandon Ingram. Me personally, he's young, so I would possibly keep him, but it just depends on how much money he's requesting. If he's requesting over $40 million for the next couple of seasons, no. I could try to find something better. But if he isn't and it's a team-friendly deal, then I'd say, all right, cool. If he requesting like $30 million, all right, cool, we could do that. But he is also somewhat injury-prone as well, so it's just a lot of questions in regards to that. The final thing I would say is Will you keep? Will you think about trading some of these role players, the Jose Alvarados? Will you think about trying to trade some of those players to up the depth in the team, or do you think you got the right coach? Me personally, I think the coach that they have is pretty good, so I'm not really on the but I'm not really on the fire the coach bandwagon. But I think it's just, moving around some pieces, getting some more, players that can really make their own shot and shoot the ball a little better, because as we've seen in that playoffs, they were struggling a lot. And if you do all that, I think that this team will be good. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the motherfucking channel, turn on notifications and all that good stuff, and I'm out. Peace.